May 21st is the anniversary of my ordination, and it was 33 years this past week that I was ordained. I was thinking of, really over the years, it's been my task to somehow put into words our experience of God. And sometimes it comes a little bit more easy than other times. And I think I've probably seen my words change a bit over the years, as you could imagine. One of the phrases that I know I used some time ago, and maybe you've heard it too, is that phrase, God will never give you more than you can handle. You know, that kind of brought me comfort for a while. I used to think, God is doling out bad things in a sense, but He'll never give me more than I can handle. And I have to just trust that He won't, that it'll be okay. But then it began to change for me. I began to experience some things like this person that I knew that had a nervous breakdown. Then I've had a number of funerals of suicide victims. I have encountered people who, because of the experience of their life, they quit believing. They no longer had any space for God in their life. And I thought, God is making some mistakes here. He's giving people more than they can handle in certain circumstances. And that phrase just didn't seem to work anymore. Because as I thought about it more, it meant really that somehow God is giving out bad things to people. I thought, I don't really believe that. And probably beyond that He's really trying to control our life somehow. Maybe even control bigger things in this world so that somehow His plans are made visible. And so that sense of God's giving evil and controlling no longer seems to fit. This feast of the Ascension, I think, has something to say to us. I think I've changed in this feast also. I used to think, and I think the church did, that the Ascension was the day that Jesus left us. In fact, I think on this Ascension Day, we used to put out the Easter candle ceremoniously, that they would extinguish it. There was a sense that God left us, abandoned us here to earth, and He went to heaven. And we were left here to somehow scrape out, survive an existence that was going to be very difficult, so that someday we could get to heaven. And then we would understand, and everything would be at peace. I think I lived with that reality or that thinking for a long time. Pope Benedict wrote about this, and I really liked what he wrote. He said, the Ascension really is Jesus, as a human in His humanity, was taken into God on this day, the Feast of the Ascension. And we, as also humans, in a sense, He took us with Him. So that connection with God is very strong. It was the first time that a human person really had joined intimately with God. And so it made Jesus very central in our lives. So our experience here on earth, our connection to Jesus, really is a connection to heaven. He says Jesus is heaven, and our relationship is crucial. So that means then that our life here on earth all of a sudden takes on new significance. It can actually be heavenly. But somehow, in what we experience and all that we go through in our life, we have to trust that Jesus is with us. That he has the power to lift us up to a new place. As he walks with us, as he gives us strength and wisdom and courage. That has the ability to change our life, and we become alive in God's Spirit. To me, that was much more hope-filled and really much more life-giving. Today, this weekend, I should say, is Memorial Day weekend, a time in which we especially remember those who have given their life for our country. But often we also take it as a time to go and visit the graves of loved ones, those who have gone before us, who have been significant in our lives. So what do we do when we go to those places? And what do we say? I heard it said, and probably thought it myself, this person that I love has, God needed this person more than I did. You heard that said sometimes. And I thought, why does God need this person? God has this person in a sense, whether they're here on earth or not. I need them here. Or we sometimes would say, they have gone to a better place. Well, yeah, it's true, but that doesn't really help me in my grief and loss. Because this also is kind of a nice place. And a morning like this, how can we say this is not a good place? And if we believe truly that our time here on earth can be heavenly, then that doesn't help us so much. I would sense that today, as we go to those places, or as we think of the people that are significant in our lives, it is more important that we let Jesus stand with us in that moment. And we know within ourselves our own grief and our own sense of loss about these people. They were very important to us, and they meant maybe everything to us, and they aren't with us anymore. That is not an easy place to stand, but a very important place to stand because it's a part of the human experience. And we allow Jesus to stand with us and to give us strength, to renew the bond that exists between us and that person. Because we believe they are still alive, and that death is not necessarily a barrier, that we can still sense their presence in our lives. It is really what Jesus brings us, it's what he taught us. So we allow continually God to stand with us in all the experiences of our life, good and bad, and we trust that he is luring us forward and guiding us to a sense of greater life. That is the gift of the Ascension. That is the gift of this feast day.